Many people throughout the history of mankind have desired to understand the prophecies of the Bible. The great prophet Daniel also desired to understand these prophecies. He begged for understanding of the prophecies he was inspired by Yahweh to write, but was told, "But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many will run to and fro, and knowledge will be increased. Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed until the time of the end." Daniel 12:4 and 9. Technology has increased like never before. Weapons of war have been developed to be more destructive than ever. With the invention of nuclear weapons, man now has the ability to do what he has never before been able to accomplish. The total annihilation of all life on earth. And the sixth Mallet poured out his bowl upon the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, so that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Revelation 16:12. An article from NewScientist.com dated 27 July 2009 by Fred Pierce shows that Turkish dams have greatly reduced the flow of both the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, causing farmers to abandon their desiccated fields and the Mesopotamian cradle of civilization to be returned to desert. The dams in both Turkey and Syria have cut the flow of the Euphrates River as it enters Iraq to below 250 cubic meters per second, which is less than 1/4 of the flow needed to maintain Iraqi agriculture. As a result, tensions in the area are increasing with no apparent compromise in sight. Both Turkey and Iran are building new dams on the Tigris River and its tributaries, causing many of these rivers to run dry. In 1112 BCE, 379 years after Moshe led the 12 tribes of Israel out of Egypt, the great prophet Samuel appointed a Benjaminite, Saul, as king. History shows that a large number of elders approached Samuel when he was at Ramesh and told him, "You are old, and your sons do not walk in your ways. Appoint a king to judge us, just like all the other nations." Why didn't the elders approach Samuel and ask for new judges, one who would walk in the righteous ways of Yahweh? Instead, they chose to reject Yahweh's righteous government and wanted to be like all the other nations. In reality, they had already rejected Yahweh long before they ever went to Samuel. They wanted to go back into God worship, the very ways that Moshe led them out of only 379 years earlier. Samuel warned them of the way the kings would behave toward them. He warned that their sons would serve in their armies, that they would plow the king's ground, harvest his crops, and produce weapons of war. He warned that the daughters would be taken into his service as bakers, cooks, and perfumers. They were warned that taxes would be imposed, their property seized and given to the king's officials. They were even warned that they would become the king's servants. Despite these warnings, they still refused to listen. They wanted a king to rule over them and to lead them in their battles. So, Yahweh instructed Samuel to listen to their demands and to appoint them a king. King Saul was from the tribe of Benjamin. It was prophesied that those from the tribe of Benjamin would have the characteristics of a ravenous wolf. In fact, warnings were given that false prophets would come in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they would be ravening wolves, and that by their fruits that they would be known. King Saul hated Yahweh's people with a passion. He didn't know why he hated King David, but he hated him and wanted to kill him. There is a similar period in history that took place approximately 2,800 years earlier, where a righteous priest of Yahweh was killed, and the pattern of the way of the kings of the East was established. Who was involved? Do they still exist, and is their system still in place today? And will it bring peace? The shocking answers to these and many other questions when we continue to examine the ways of the kings of the East.